What is going on, guys? My name is Visions, also known as Austin. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a solo cast today for the Golden Guardians versus 100 Thieves match. I do plan to do all the NALCS matches today as long as my voice can hold out and hang in there. But to jump right into this match one, obviously we do have 100 Thieves versus Golden Guardians, and we do actually have Anda in the jungle now that Meteos is no longer on the roster, and they also did not decide to put Levi in. So this is going to be quite the matchup. And then we also have Golden Guardians, who I guess had a very good 2 weeks of practice coming into this match as well. They talked a lot about how they've had a whole bunch of new strategies coming out. We saw Mickey actually have a really good performance yesterday on his Talon. A little bit more consistency coming from the roster, and Contracts also had a very good game where he punished the bot lane pretty hard. So as we get through the first ban phase, we're going to see that they are going to try and take away some of Contracts' junglers here, as they're going to ban the Nocturne and the Kindred, and then we just have some top tier supports being taken away, also some good funnel supports. And as we get into this, we're going to see the Zoe being first picked, which is pretty crazy because Mickey has showed a much better performance lately. But, you know, obviously he's open to the counter pick there. But we do also have the Mundo coming through, which we've just seen someday. Just an absolute monster on this champion. Now on to Hovering the Nidalee. Very unlikely it's going to come through. And just a classic Trundle pick. It's I believe that is to On Discomfort for something that he has played a few times so far in LCS. It'd be... I guess going forward here, I mean, we might possibly see, yeah, I was going to say, we're going to see some bot lane here. Might see the Fiddlesticks as well. I don't think the Fiddlesticks is banned, so yes, we're going to see the Fiddlesticks and Heimer come through. We've seen this lane quite a few times, I think twice now, and this lane is just disgusting. It's so much poke. It's very difficult to deal with. I mean, just trying to be able to gank this lane is also very difficult as they have a lot of turn potential. I think the only thing that a lot of teams are having trouble with this bot lane is that they usually can take the first turret, or they can get a lead, or at least punish really hard, but they actually have a hard time in the mid game for as far as actually closing out and trying to take more objectives and snowball and whatnot. So curious to see how that will go. Overall, we are going to see the second ban phase here, and we're probably going to see a couple top lane bans maybe come out. We might see the Darius ban come through, just to give someday a little bit more of an easier laning phase, as we've seen Darius be quite the big counter pick going into that Mundo. And there it is right there. So we're going to see the Darius ban, and then shooting back, we're probably going to see a bot lane ban at Cody Sun, maybe Xayah. I mean, the Rakan's already taken off the table, so maybe it's unlikely that he plays the Xayah. But maybe just taking an ADC away from him, like Varus, or something along those lines. They're going to come through with the Alistar, however. Just trying to take away the engage from Aphromoo. Also, there's a lot of synergy with the Yasuo, with the Alistar, and plus they already have the Pillar. So that would have definitely been a very good synergized support pick if that came through. However, we are going to see 100 Thieves close down on their ban, and we might see potentially another top lane ban, or maybe they're just going to try and take away support, maybe Pyke. Oh, they're going to take away the Gnar. So those are two big counter picks that they are actually trying to take away from Lorelo, making sure that he doesn't get a good matchup. So this might be something we haven't seen yet, but Lorelo is also someone who can actually play quite a few champions, and he has a deep champion pool. And I actually think Lorelo is one of the most underrated top laners actually in NALCS. I do think he's actually very consistent for the most part. He deals with pressure pretty well. I mean, a lot of the times, you know, he's getting 2 or 3 man. Maybe he can find himself in a better position, but ultimately he seems to be someone that can usually handle pressure really well. So I'm curious to see if he's going to be able to do something, or pick something that's going to be able to match up well against the Mundo and maybe put himself in a winning matchup. We are going to see Cody Sun Varus come through. This is definitely a comfort pick coming through for him. And now potentially Xin Zhao going into this matchup, which I believe would be pretty well, as they have quite a few melees, but it looks like it's going to be GP. So GP into Mundo. This is actually something that a lot of people don't do. No, because Mundo scales so well, and once he hits level 16, he's almost unkillable unless you get Executioner calling or Morellos and being able to deal with his healing. GP actually scales really well, so he has a decent laning phase versus the Mundo, and then going forward as the match goes on, he also scales well with the Mundo as well. So it's more of an even matchup. So either player can actually end up winning it. But ultimately, we are going to see Xin Zhao also locked in for Contracts. Curious to see how he plays on that pick. Going forward, we saw Contracts play an amazing game yesterday. He did have a little bit rougher late game, mid game, but he had an amazing early game. You know, they punished the ball lane very hard, and now Aphromoo coming through with the Thresh. So this is quite the team composition we have. I think a lot of this is going to determine on how this bot lane does. I think that we've seen a lot of Heimer, and as well as this Fiddlesticks bot lane in general. I'm curious to see how it's going to match up together, how they're going to go forward, and if they do end up winning lane, I want to see how they transition that lead into the mid game and seeing if they can actually focus down some more turrets, get those objectives, how they actually play around vision control together, and how they actually end up winning this game and seeing if they can close it, because they definitely do have the winning bot lane. Just have to see how they actually close the game out. For as far as the draft, I do think that GG's definitely has the edge here. For as far as something that we've seen work, if they can execute well on their bot lane, and then they can actually even if they scale, like they have a really good scaling team as well. So it should be interesting to see how it goes. I'm gonna see the coaches shake hands there as they go back to their rooms, and we're getting ready to hop right into game one. So just as we're waiting here, I am more of a showcaster than I am a color caster. So ultimately, I think my game knowledge, based off how long I played the game, I definitely have a good idea of general matchups, and for the most part, obviously what items they're going to be going for. But for the most part, I would still am looking for another color caster to be able to cast with me. If there's anyone that is open to that, feel free to put it in the comments below. Message me on Twitter at Chaboyauzy, CHABOIAUZY. But anyway, enough of me. We're getting ready to hop right into game one as Golden Guardians match off against 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves on a bit of a win streak, as well as Golden Guardians. So we're going to see what team can take this. And we're going to see if Anda is actually going to can continue to show his success on the team. We're just going to see a bit of a standard start here. No one going for any cheeky invades or anything like that. And maybe Heimer going down there to set up some early turrets or just to set up some vision, which is the kind of cool thing you can do with the Donger, is you can go back and forth between your turrets, and you can actually keep them alive and wake them up. And it grants you vision, so you can go back and forth to make sure they're never cheesy. But now we're going to see the bubble actually land onto Anda. Anda's going to have to flash here. That's going to be a flash from Mickey, though. He's going to get ignited. Another flash coming through as Anda's about to tick, and that's going to be first blood right there going over to Mickey. It was 3 summoners were blown for 1, but that first blood gold going over to Mickey, that's where you want to see it, especially going to this match. I mean, he's going to pick himself up maybe a Doran's ring. Looks like that is going to be a Doran's ring that comes through. Plus, he has the corruption potions on top of that. So I mean, that's going to be a huge buff coming into this lane here. But you can see Anda just didn't respect where they could be in the brush. He's gonna get sleeped, and then they just follow up the flash ignite. Crow also coming through for the extra damage, but really well played by them. And that is not what you want to see if you're a 100 Thieves fan, especially if you see this new jungler added to your roster. That is super unfortunate. However, we are going to be going forward now. We're going to see this bot lane starting to pressure, being annoying. You can see Aphromoo actually dealt with this lane yesterday, I think. I'm pretty sure it was with Ryu, though. Because I believe they were doing the funnel versus TSM. But you can see how annoying it is. The crows constantly coming in, and just like not much you can really do. The crows coming in, and you have the shove coming in from the Heimer turrets, and it just becomes very difficult to actually play, and it's just frustrating to play against. And this is, like I said, this is going to be the lane of focus. This is where we're going to see if GG's can actually push to get this tower, pressure it, and then look to extend their lead. And we're going to see Contracts is actually going to bully out Anda here. They both do have red buff, and Contracts is going very aggressive as he has the bot lane push. And it looks like he's actually going to push him off Scuttle. So that Scuttle will be secured by Contracts. Aphromoo looking to maybe just be a bit of a nuisance here. I don't think there's much Aphro can do. I think he needs to back away. He's going to be smited away just to be sure. And now because of this, they know that Contracts will be heading towards his top side, but he's going to clear his golems first. And Anda, I mean, I really would have liked to see Contracts run like right to the other Scuttle, because I mean, if you're a jungler and you had both Scuttles in the early game, it's super effective. It's just so important, and like if you can do something like that, like it just sets the other jungler so far behind, and you just have such a nice lead. And we can see Mickey actually going really aggressive, gonna land the bubble, and I think it's gonna be the cleanse coming through. Yeah, because his wind wall was down. So really well played by Mickey. Mickey is someone who has been very inconsistent, going forward. But ultimately, his last week yesterday he looked really well on the Talon. He honestly played really well. But we're going to see a bit of damage coming in. Someday did just hit the level 4 here, going pretty aggressive. Just a nice little trade. And we're going to see the E not going to totally land there. But look at the poke coming through. But now we're going to see the gank from Honda. I mean, this is going to be maybe a rough gank. As we can see, Aphromoo actually going to walk up here. Honda does have the pillar. Looks like they're going to choose to go on Matt. Matt does not, or does have flash here. He's going to get ignited though. But we're going to see a kill go over to Afro. But now Anda's going to trade 1. So now it is a 1-for-1. Cody-san going really low, taking lots of minion damage. He's going to have to back away. But that is not what you want to see. That was a 1-for-1 right there. And that was just as good as they could have played it. I really would have liked to see Matt flash a bit earlier, knowing that Afro most likely would have flash flayed you. But ultimately, they played that really well. They did get a kill back over. So, and this is just the thing with this bot lane, right? I mean, we look at this bot lane and we look at how much pressure they have. But not only do they always have the push, but when you walk up like this, you can just see that they have the minions, they have the turrets. Aphromoo is walking through this. He gets ignited and then definitely just decides, yeah, I'm just going to go on you and you're just going to die. And Honda ends up at least trading one, at least trading 1 over just as they killed Matt. But, really well played by them to at least go 1-for-1, as well as, showing that they're taking a lot of pressure. Aphromoo going for the hook, not going to find it though, super close, trying to get a roam off there. And Ryu and Mickey both getting very close to 6. And as Yasuo very overextended right now, as Yasuos always are. Lots of attention going around this mid lane right now, potentially looking for a gank. Contracts hasn't really been doing too much other than farming. Looks like he's just going to go do his Raptors, and really would like to see them potentially set up a dive, especially since they have the global ultimate, and Contracts also has his once he gets his R available. I would love to see them go for a dive on this bot lane, considering that while Afro has a lot of summoners down, Cody-san still has his flash up. But using the global ultimate from GP, as well as just doing having all the burst damage and having the push and just being able to chain your CC under turret there would be really well played by them. Contracts now looking for mid play here, but this is going to be matched by Onda. So this is going to be 2v2. Both players are 6, but it looks like Mickey also has the redemption. They're going to go on to Onda. Onda doesn't have flash. Actually, oh, he doesn't. It just came up, it looks like, just now. So unfortunate, but now Lolo in a really tough spot. Might potentially get solo killed. Might have to flash. Looks like he might flash, though, or he already did. So that's going to be a solo kill coming through for Someday onto the pick. Now Ryu in a tough spot. Going to pick up the flash. Looking for one. Looking for the Paddle Star. Paddle Star is going to find him. And that's going to be another kill going over to Mickey. Mickey now 3-0 right there, as he has now found the first blood onto Onda, and he has found another kill as that match gank came through in the mid lane and then ended up killing Ryu as well. And Ryu should miss another wave. And this Mickey is just looking so good right now. This is the performance that we wanted to see come out of this player. A lot of talk going on to him. We can see this actually gets the redemption coming off of the minion right there from the passive. Really, really well executed. Onda does no flashes. Flash is just about to come up. But then we're going to see, actually, Lolo did flash pretty early, and he's going to get taken down as he's trying to dodge the Qs. But Someday's just going to make sure he doesn't miss anything, and he just walks up and makes sure he autos them. Really nice slow by Contracts actually coming through, and he's going to land that. And then Mickey's there to make sure that they do clean that up. And now Ryu's in a tough spot because he now no longer has his flash. Does have the cleanse, at least if the bubble does land onto him. But now we're in a situation where, Ryu's going to overextend, and, we can keep looking for these ganks over and over again. And I would love to see Contracts come back here and just keep picking on this Yasuo pick, because ultimately, where he's going to be overextended, as most Yasuos always are. So well played. And again, this bot lane, slowly chunking at this turret, slowly pushing it in, trying to do as much damage as possible. Now that we do see that Golden Guardians just have a bit of a gold lead here, I really want to see how they actually transition it. Since most of the gold is all on Mickey, it is a lot on him to see if he can find the roams and to find the picks. So, going forward after laning phase, we're going to see if Mickey is actually able to carry this game out, as it is going to rely on him. And now we can see Contracts, as we were talking about before, is level 6, kind of looking for bot lane, but it looks like he is just going to invade the blue, and he is going to take that away from Onda. Also, just to take a look at the CS leads here, we do actually have a pretty decent CS lead from Mickey there, and that's just from the pressure of making sure Ryu has to back. So a lot of pressure coming through for him. And we also see a bit of a CS lead In bot lane, however, it's mostly even, and as well as top is pretty even, and then a slight advantage for contracts in the jungle. But Lorlo is down at a bit of a tough spot. Since he did get solo killed there, he's in a tough spot for the main reason of Ssumday can now just basically run him down. He has the tabbies, so he has a whole bunch of movement speed. GP does just need to scale and just needs to stay alive in the matchup. He's still in a 5 position. I still think that he's more than okay. But now this is what we were talking about. We were talking about having this dive come down as you have the mid lane pressure. They constantly are pushing. The hook's going to come out, though. And now this might be everything blown on Deathly. But now we're going to see lots of damage come through. That's going to be Cody Sun going down right away and just deleted. Absolutely amazing play coming from GG's, knowing that they can play around this bot lane, knowing that they're always going to have the push right there. So really well played by them, and you could just see just the damage coming through right there. Just absolutely blown away. Cody Sun did not stand a chance. We're going to see a bit of damage coming through for Ryu. Ando was not in a position to actually counter gank that at the time. It looks like he might go to top side to try and get the scuttle and try to take away the blue buff potentially, but really well played by them. And Dragon now going over, as it is a pretty early Ocean Drag. Getting Ocean Drag before 10 minutes is actually amazing. I mean, just giving you the sustain. And now we're going to see Lorlo actually going to get chunked out here. Hook's going to land, not going to follow up with death sentence though. Ando also here just to make sure. And, you know, this is what we talked about. We talked about Contracts had a really rough 7 months, and he actually talked about it yesterday. But before we get into that, we're going to talk about that. Actually, that hook landing is insane. That was like pretty insane. Nice flash from Deathly. And yeah, we're going to see just deleted. GP ulti comes down, just the damage, and that's just the pressure we talked about when you have the GP ulti. And this is really well played by them to make sure they take advantage of the situation at hand, knowing they have the push. Definitely going to be pushing here again. Now has only doesn't have the flash anymore, just the TP. But as we were talking about before, we were talking about Contracts yesterday, how, as I guess we're going to delay it again, as Lorlo looks like he's going to get dove here. He is going to pop the stopwatch, so Ssumday is going to take a little bit more damage. Late TP is actually going to get canceled here. Ssumday going really low. He's going to pop the stopwatch. Anda's going to finish it off with this, an auto right there. It looks like they now are going to pressure the tower. So Lorlo is definitely in a little bit of a tough spot right here. Luckily, his bot lane and his mid lane is winning super hard. So it's at this point, he needs to do his best to make sure he stays alive and just needs to try and track the enemies. And now we're going to see maybe a bit of damage coming through right there. And holy, Cody Sun getting chunked down to almost just less than half right there. And the Fiddlesticks getting the bounces right there. That was insane. Turret, however, is going to go over to 100 Thieves, so really well played by them to at least get something back on the map, and knowing that they need to play around their winning side. When you see your top laner get the solo kill onto the enemy top lane, you need to make sure you're playing around him. That is your winning lane, and the rest of your lanes just need to do their best to play safe and just play through your lead through the top lane. Now we are just going to see a bit of a setup coming through as these turrets are going to get knocked down. And now, as I want to talk about it, was Contracts. Yesterday in his interview, he talks a bit about how you know, he had a rough 7 months. You know, especially, you know, talking about spring split and going into summer. You know, for the first few weeks, he didn't have the best performances, and he knew that. But he's been stepping it up tremendously. As you can see, Contracts going very aggressive, but he's getting collapsed on by his bot lane right here. And as I talk about Contracts actually having a really good play, he's going to go back in. They're going to find one right there. Going to find two as the bot lane goes down right away. That's going to be this trouble bubble going on to Ssumday. This is going to be maybe another kill going over to Ryu right here. Mickey now finding triple, maybe going for the penta, as he's not going to find the paddle star into anyone right there. But this guy is just extremely fed right now. Currently 602, almost has 100% kill participation. Contracts playing that really, really well, as it looked like he was in a bit of a tough spot, but he ended up flashing over the wall. Really good mechanical play coming out of him. And as it looked like he was in maybe a tough spot getting collapsed by the bot lane, they absolutely turned it right around. And now it looks like this turret could be potentially going down here as they're chunking it pretty low. However, 100 Thieves bot lane is going to get here just in time. And even today, actually, probably talked about, we saw a clip just in the pregame show about how Probably says Mickey's really the X factor. This guy is very inconsistent, but when he's playing well, it really shows. And look at this game, for example. I mean, he's currently 6-0-2. He ended up finding a really good trouble bubble early onto Onda for the first blood, and it ended up snowballing out of control. And, we also talked about this bot lane. How this bot lane is just so hard to deal with, and how they can just do so much damage. damage, and constantly push it in, get the first turret. And this is what GG knew. They knew they had to play around this lane. They knew that this is where the success was going to be, and they ended up finding it. So really well played by them, as we can see a little bit of pressure coming down to the mid lane. Onda just looking to clear out some vision right here. We're going to see a replay. So Contracts goes very aggressive, goes on to Onda right here, puts out as much damage as he possibly can, turns it, looks like he flashes over the walls, the Fiddlesticks ulti comes through, goes back over, really well played by them, and then you see Mickey come through with the Paddle Star that landed onto a few members, Ryu's on the back line, but this is the Yasuo syndrome, 1v4, unfortunately, not going to find anything. Mickey tried to find the Paddle Star into Onda, as it probably would have killed him, but did not find it, but he will settle for the triple kill. He is looking very strong right now, has the level advantage on Ryu, has the CS advantage on Ryu, and has 6 kills up on Ryu. So ultimately, really well played by him. And I'm really glad that Mickey is actually performing well, because this is someone that just took a lot of flack for not performing well, for being kind of the weak link of GG's. But they talked about getting rid of High, and this is his replacement. High was a big shot caller, maybe not the best mechanically anymore. I mean, definitely he was, when he was in his prime, absolutely amazing. And I'm not saying by any means that High is maybe not able to play in LCS, but he's definitely more of a shot caller, more of a vocal member. Mickey, or I guess GG's was looking for someone like Mickey who can maybe have these games like this where he can take over and he can really show what he can do on champions that he's good at. And we're going to see the Rift Herald come down now, and that's going to find the turret. They should be able to get a second charge off here, as it looks like they will. Don't think they're going to hit the back before it. Well, they will, so it's going to neglect a bit of damage. But ultimately, that turret is going to go down to half health right there, taking away some mid pressure and exposing Yasuo a bit more for going forward here. And now we're just going to see lots of vision control actually coming through for GG's, as Aphromoon looking to reset the wards, and another turret being knocked down right here. And we can see this gold lead is just becoming very difficult to deal with. We're looking at about a 5k gold lead right here. And now they're setting up a bit of a death brush. I don't think Onda might be face checking though. He is spotted out. It looks like they are going to hop on him though. Onda is going to have to flash out. Has the lantern, but he's going to get knocked up, and he actually walked back for the lantern. Hook's going to land on the Contracts. He's not going to follow that up though. It just takes a bit of poke, but that was just, they knew that they were going to be in the jungle, and they just waited patiently for them, and now it looks like they're going to have their eyes on top lane, maybe looking to pressure it a bit, as they are going to put some damage down here. Aphromoon trying to come up to see if they can do anything, but I don't think, it looks like they are actually not going to be able to get it just yet. As they actually transition over to mid lane, they are pinging it as the turret is extremely low. Cody's son is not going to get hit by that Paddle Star right there, but actually they're going to go on to Cody, as they know that he's actually alone. Ultimate's going to land on him though, but it looks like he should be okay. He is going to flash away, however, and they are going to knock down another turret. So really really good play by Contracts, knowing that he didn't actually have his team with him there. He was alone to take advantage of the situation. Onda just getting poked out a bit by the turrets. And this is just really rough for 100 Thieves. They basically can't walk into the jungle whatsoever, as we're going to see the turret, or actually we're going to see the dragon be taken away here. But this just becomes very difficult for 100 Thieves, as they're not actually able to do anything. And even though Someday actually has a huge lead, this has to be very frustrating, especially as a solo laner, winning your lane, crushing it, and exerting a bunch of pressure. But because of your feeding lanes, there's nothing you can really do. But I honestly think this comes down to just being out-drafted. I think GG's did an excellent job here. But, we're going to see maybe a bit of pressure coming back, as they actually have 3 people in the top lane. But definitely is going to be able to hold this. He has no problem placing his turrets down and just clearing the wave after wave. And, this is where it becomes very tricky for 100 Thieves going forward, as we do have the Baron spawning in about 2.5 minutes. And when that Baron spawns, we're going to be looking for 100 Thieves to try and make sure that they don't lose vision of Baron, make sure they aren't face checking, they aren't getting picked off, because there is a lot of pick potential. And when there's a Zoe on the enemy team that is 6-0-3 and you are behind and you don't have control of your own jungle, it becomes very difficult to deal with that. And I know I'm already imagining the Paddle Stars, and I'm already imagining the Sleepy Bubbles just landing onto these players and not being able to do anything. But we are going to see them slowly take vision back, take control, looking to prep that Baron, as I don't think they're going to go for any objective besides maybe top potentially. Besides that, it looks like they are just going to try and clear the wave after wave, and we are going to see the pressure. The wave is about to crash top lane. We're going to see 100 Thieves rotate up. Mickey looks like he's going to stay in mid to pressure the wave back. And but on the bot lane, you do have to talk about Ssumday. Ssumday is the player that has been actually winning this game for them. If it wasn't for Ssumday this game, they literally would not be able to do anything, because GP would just be pushing. They would have no side lane pressure whatsoever. Lourlo knows that he's not able to do much in this matchup now that he has lost early. He does have the Executioner calling, which I really like that he did build that, and we can already see 2 Morellos actually being built by Deftly and by Mickey. So this is really good by them. Making sure that they know that Mundo is going to be a threat. They know he's going to be a problem. So making sure that they take that away, as they're actually going to ultimate onto Contract. Contract's going really low here. Ultimate's going to land, but now we're going to see the Fiddle ulti coming through, seeing if he can find anything just yet. That's going to be one going down, as actually Ryu might be able to live here, but he's going to be taken down by Contracts. Onda looks like he's next in the sight, and now this is going to be 2 down right here for 100 Thieves. We do actually have the TP that came through for Lourlo, so now they are going to match in the mid lane, as they're looking like they should be able to take this turret no problem whatsoever. GG's is just way too ahead. There's nothing they can actually do, as this inhibitor should be going down, and as this inhibitor is going to be going down, 30 seconds, Baron will be spawning, and just like that, Mickey's actually going to find another kill going on to Aphromoo right there. Really well played by them, just finding pick after pick. Mickey is just doing so much damage right now. Not so much on the Mundo, however, though. He is going to have to pick up a bit of our Morellos, or pick up a little bit more Magic Pen before he starts to hurt him. But if Mickey finds a Trouble Bubble onto one of these squishies, or even Aphromoo, like, he is going to pop you. And this is just an amazing performance coming out of him, as we can actually see him just trying to clear the wave. But this becomes very difficult now, because now you have the inhibitor down. You have to deal with that constant wave coming into the mid lane. And we're just going to get a quick replay of this, as we can see Cody-san decides to pop the ultimate, and off the ultimate, Aphromoo decides to ulti him. But because of the ultimate for Contract, he neglects so much damage and actually ends up living a bit longer than he should have. And then you see Matt come through with the ultimate, lands the red smite onto Ryu, so he ends up going down. Onda gets caught out next, and Lourlo's already here, ready to push and siege. So really well played by them, as they're now going to have their sights onto the Nash. So now, since they do have the pressure in the bot lane, we're going to see that Lourlo actually doesn't have TP anymore. So this is the only good thing for 100 Thieves right now, is that if they do decide to make a play around Baron, Lourlo is not going to be able to match with his TP. He does have the ultimate coming up very shortly. And Lourlo is actually showing him so much respect, even under the tower, knowing that he will die. And just like that, this turret should be taken down. He is 2 levels below the Mundo. As you can see, the CS is actually huge. That is literally so much. That is like 80 CS behind right now. He is now 3 levels down. I'm not sure if Lourlo hits 13 off this wave or not. 13 is also a pretty big spike for the barrels for GP as well. But it looks like he did hit the 13 finally, but man, this is looking really bad. I mean, he will scale, and if they can stall the game out long enough and just play around their lead through Mickey and through the bot lane, I mean, they should be fine. But this game is going to be pretty difficult for them. And now we're just going to see Deftly pushing wave after wave here, looking to prep the Baron. And, actually because of the Donger too, there's going to be a lot of damage that comes down to this Baron, as GG's actually looking to pressure this bot lane, because mid lane is actually shoved in. But we are actually seeing a back come out of the Mundo right here. So we're going to see the back come through, but this is going to be the ultimate, maybe the TP coming behind. We're going to see the deep flank coming through right here. Ultimate is available for GP though. No one going down just yet, as the turret's running really low. Mundo's coming through for the flank right here, seeing if he can find anything. He's going to get trouble bubbled. This is going to be lots of damage. This is a 5v4 though, as Lourlo is not here yet, but they are turning it. Lots of damage going on to Ryu, but not going to find anything just yet. Ssumday now going extremely low, as Mickey X is about to go down. That's going to be shut down going on to him, and this is going to be Ssumday should be going down just next, so it should just be a 1-for-1, as we see definitely actually 1v3 1v3ing right now, but that was Matt actually 1v3ing right there. He's not going to get taken down by the Ignite, and this is the Lorlo we were talking about right here. GP does scale as he's going to find 2, maybe looking for 3, not going to find anything just yet. Ryu's going to flash, looking for Contracts. Contracts running extremely low right here, definitely now the next target, but we can see Ryu trying to do as much as he can. He's going to find the ultimate, not going to find the kill though, and that is going to be maybe the game right here going forward for GG's. They are going to find tons of damage going on to these champions. There's nothing they could do as they try to force the play. Onda, the last one alive, he's going to get taken down just next. Another kill going over the Lorlo as he actually fixes up his KDA a bit, so it doesn't look like he got stomped that hard, but they are not going to look for the end, and they did not actually get the inhibitor in the top lane. If they weren't going to go for the end, I really would have liked them to just get that inhibitor. They are going to go for the reset, however, as Infernal Drag is also on the map. So they're going to wait to get that, but there's a lot of objectives for them to take, and we are going to see a replay of this. Ultimate lands onto Matt. Matt does pop the stopwatch right away. He's going to get himself out of that. GP ulti comes down, but this is where we see the Someday flank come through. Someday is looking for ultimate, or has the ultimate popped, finds lots of damage coming through, and Mickey actually does get taken down here, as we can see Matt's just actually like 1v4ing them and zoning them really hard with the ultimate. So then Someday trades one back over here, and then Someday then is doomed to go down as he no longer has the flash. But Matt was literally like 1v4ing and 1v3ing and zoning really hard, just zoning the entire team away as Someday was isolated, so they actually couldn't get to Someday. If they were able to get to help Someday there, maybe the fight could have went a different way. But ultimately, really well played by them. Mickey just trying to be cheeky and take away the red buff, but it is going to be wind walled away. Now, we do have mid lane pressure, as actually they're looking on to Someday. Someday is very tanky, though. I don't know if I'm about going for this target, but they're going to see him go extremely low. Definitely is going to land a huge E onto multiple targets right there with the ultimate. There's going to be one going down right away, maybe looking for another, looking for some more damage coming on to Someday, but Someday's going to walk out of the ultimate. He is full health, but that's going to be a inhibitor should be going down here, as they just keep finding pick after pick. You can just see the carries on 100 Thieves are just nothing they can do this game. They're just getting taken out left, right, and center, and now this could potentially be the end. It is a 5v3 with not much damage at all on the side of 100 Thieves. Drowsy's going to land onto Onda. Onda's going to get taken away right here. Nice play coming from Aphromoo. Aphromoo going to pop a stopwatch for now to try and delay it, but this should be them going down right here. Definitely's going to find another one. Someday now the last target. Sleepy Bubble's going to land. He's going to find another one, and that's going to be Lorlo fixing his KDA up right there. You know, he was looking really rough as it was 0-3 as they do take down the Nexus, but it looks like he actually had an amazing game at the end of it. Mickey also playing a phenomenal game, shutting down 100 Thieves right there. And this is the GGs we were talking about. We talked about how GGs was, you know, going forward, they were looking like the next team that, you know, were coming up. And they talked about them having really good 2 weeks of practice, and they said they fixed a lot of their issues, and it looks like it's showing. That is going to be a 2-0 week for them, and I don't think I remember the last time that GG's ever had a 2-0 week, last split or this split. So I mean, this is really well played by them. Really glad to see that they're finding the success that you know, a lot of these players have seen in the past. So glad that they are pulling out the win here. 100 Thieves looking a little rough right there. I just think that a lot of it came down to getting out drafted. You know, that bot lane just shows so much pressure, not much you can really do about it. But ultimately, really well played by GG's. Not just Ryu. You can see Ryu on a screen right there, looking a little bit depressed. As he did actually suffer from the Yasuo syndrome that game and had it really rough. But you know, 100 Thieves has a lot of things to still fix. They have a lot of things. You know, with the new jungler, you have to synergize a lot of new things. And we saw Onda getting picked out really early and snowballing into Mickey. So you have to wonder if maybe that was you know, a big play of you know, Mickey is someone that can carry the games now. And you know, we saw it. We saw it yesterday too. So I mean, ultimately, really well played by them. However, that is going to be it for pretty much game one. So I will be uploading this very shortly, as we will also be trying to do almost all the games today, I believe, as long as my voice stays intact, and then we'll definitely be looking to do all of the games. But for now, thank you so much for watching game one. Please comment, like, subscribe, any kind of criticism that you want to give me. You know, I'm open to it. Obviously, I'm fairly new to casting, but ultimately, if you are a color caster that wants to collab with me, we can definitely run some shoots, you know, run some games and see how it goes. But yeah, leave everything in the comments, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.